Welcome to the Human Observation Lab. I'm New York, your host and observer of human behavior. Today, we have a fascinating case study about what happens when institutions try to help but end up causing anger instead.
Hi everyone, I'm Juan. I've been seeing these news stories about local governments getting into trouble for their marriage support programs. It's been all over social media lately.
Indeed. Multiple Japanese local governments have faced intense criticism for their pre-con or premarital counseling initiatives. The backlash reveals important psychological structures about how people perceive institutional interference in personal matters.
I read about this. Some of the things they said were pretty shocking. Like, eggs over 50 are closed? That sounds so harsh.
Precisely. Today, we'll analyze not just what happened, but why these well-intentioned initiatives triggered such strong negative reactions. We'll explore the psychological mechanisms behind public backlash and what this tells us about changing social values. Let's first establish the facts. Pre-con refers to premarital counseling programs run by local governments in Japan. These initiatives aim to address the declining birth rate by encouraging marriage and providing relationship education.
So the goal is to help people get married and have families. That sounds like a good thing, right? Why would anyone be against that?
The intention is indeed positive from the government's perspective. However, the execution and messaging sparked controversy. Let me explain the specific incidents that triggered the backlash.
Please do. I want to understand what exactly went wrong here.
First, a lecturer at one of these programs stated that women's eggs close after age 50. This biological determinism framing was perceived as pressuring women about their reproductive timelines. Second, some programs offered charm-up lectures that critics argued placed undue emphasis on women's physical appearance and marriageability.
Wait, charm-up lectures? That sounds like they're telling women they need to be more attractive to get married. That feels really outdated.
Your reaction aligns with the public response. Columnists and social media commentators criticized these initiatives as meddlesome and indicative of a generational gap in understanding modern values around gender and relationships.
I can see why people would be upset. It's like the government is saying, "You're not good enough as you are."
There's another layer to this. The article points to what it calls a lack of sex education among the adult generation. This refers to the knowledge gap between those designing these programs and the younger generation they're trying to reach.
So the people running these programs might not realize how their messages come across to younger people.
That's part of it. There's also the question of whether these programs might actually accelerate the very problem they're trying to solve, the exodus of women from rural areas.
Oh, that makes sense. If a place makes you feel judged and pressured, you'd want to leave.
Now let's examine why the public reaction was so intense. When we observe human behavior, we must look at both the content of the message and the context in which it's delivered.
I think people felt like the government was crossing a line. Marriage and family are personal decisions, right?
Correct. The core issue here is what psychologists call autonomy threat. When people feel their freedom of choice is being challenged, they naturally resist. This is a fundamental human response.
So even if the advice is factually correct, like the biological realities of fertility, people will push back if they feel pressured.
Exactly. Let me introduce a key psychological concept, psychological reactance. This theory, developed by Jack Brem in 1966, explains that when people feel their freedom is threatened, they experience an unpleasant emotional state that motivates them to restore that freedom.
Psychological reactance. So that's why people don't just ignore advice they don't like, they actively fight against it?
Precisely. The reactance can manifest as anger, counterarguments, or even doing the opposite of what was suggested. When a government official says you should marry by a certain age, some people might reject marriage entirely as a form of resistance.
That's ironic. The programs trying to encourage marriage might actually discourage it.
There's also the issue of perceived competence. The article mentions criticism that these programs show a lack of sex education among the adult generation. When the messenger appears uninformed or outdated, the message loses credibility entirely.
It's like when your parents try to give you dating advice using examples from 30 years ago. You just can't take it seriously.
Let's go deeper into why helpful advice so often backfires. There are several psychological mechanisms at play here that are worth understanding.
I'm curious. Why can't people just accept help when it's offered? Why does it feel so offensive?
The first mechanism is what we call the expert blind spot. People who design these programs, government officials, lecturers, believe they have superior knowledge about marriage and family planning. They fail to recognize that younger generations have different values, priorities, and information sources.
So they think they know best, but they don't realize times have changed?
That's correct. The second mechanism is framing effect. How information is presented dramatically affects how it's received. Saying fertility declines with age is a neutral fact. Saying your eggs will close is an aggressive, fear-based frame that triggers defensive responses.
The second one sounds almost threatening. Like, hurry up or you'll regret it.
The third mechanism is identity threat. For many modern women, their identity isn't primarily defined by marriage and motherhood. When programs suggest they need charm-up lectures, it implies their current identity is inadequate.
That's really insulting when you think about it. Like, you've built a career and a life, but what really matters is whether men find you attractive.
The fourth mechanism is what behavioral economists call the curse of knowledge. Once someone knows something, in this case, officials who believe marriage leads to happiness, they cannot easily imagine what it's like not to know or believe that. They assume everyone shares their values.
But not everyone wants to get married or have children these days. Values have diversified a lot.
Exactly. And this connects to a broader issue, institutional lag. Social institutions, including government programs, often operate on outdated assumptions about what people want and need.
So by the time the government designs a program, society has already moved on to different values?
In many cases, yes. There's also a concept called third-person perception at work here. The officials designing these programs might believe that while they themselves are enlightened, the public needs guidance. They don't see how their own biases shape their messaging.
It's like they're saying, this advice is for those other people who don't know better, without realizing they're the ones who are out of touch.
Now let's consider what these controversies reveal about broader social changes. The backlash against these programs isn't just about specific comments, it reflects a fundamental shift in how people view the relationship between individuals and institutions.
What kind of shift are we talking about?
First, there's a declining acceptance of paternalistic guidance. In the past, government programs were often received with respect and compliance. Today, people expect institutions to serve them, not lecture them. This is a significant change in the social contract.
So people used to just accept what officials said, but now they question everything?
The questioning itself has become more sophisticated. Social media allows instant critique and collective pushback. When one person identifies a problematic statement, it can quickly become a national discussion.
That's true. I saw these controversies trending on Twitter almost immediately after the news came out.
Second, there's a growing awareness of gender equality and bodily autonomy. Comments about women's eggs closing or needing charm-up are now recognized as problematic in ways they might not have been even a decade ago.
It feels like society is finally saying, women aren't just vessels for reproduction.
Third, and perhaps most importantly for rural areas, there's a recognition that quality of life matters more than demographic targets. Young women leaving rural areas aren't just seeking jobs, they're seeking environments where they feel respected and valued as complete human beings.
So if rural areas want to keep young people, they need to create communities where people actually want to live, not just pressure them to stay.
Let's summarize what we've observed today. The pre-con controversies demonstrate several key psychological principles: psychological reactance when autonomy is threatened, the expert blind spot that prevents officials from seeing their own biases, and the framing effect that transforms neutral information into offensive messaging.
And the bigger picture is that society has changed. People expect different things from institutions now.
Precisely. For institutions to effectively serve the public, they must first understand the public, not as they imagine them to be, but as they actually are. This requires continuous observation, listening, and willingness to adapt.
It's kind of sad in a way. These programs probably started with genuine concern for rural communities facing population decline. But good intentions aren't enough if you don't understand the people you're trying to help.
That's a profound insight, Juan. The gap between intention and impact is where many well-meaning initiatives fail. Understanding this gap is essential for anyone who wants to create positive change in society.
Thank you for explaining all of this, New York. I feel like I understand so much more about why people reacted the way they did.
And thank you for your questions, Juan. Your perspective as a viewer representative helps ground our analysis in real human concerns. Until next time, keep observing the fascinating structures behind human behavior.
See you all next time on the Human Observation Lab. Don't forget to like and subscribe.